Hi guys, selamat pagi, apa kabar? Welcome to Gigihan channel. Today we are going to talk about ivermectin and why it is causing such a controversy when it comes to being the medicine in treating COVID. Let's get into it. First, a little bit of history regarding this medicine, ivermectin. It was first discovered back in 1975, and since 1980s it has been a popular medicine in treating parasitic infestation, which is worm infestation, especially in animals. And since the beginning of the pandemic in early 2020, the researchers worldwide, they were trying to find, is there any existing medication that we already have that can combat the COVID virus. So this team of researchers in Monash University, Australia, they found out that the ivermectin, this medicine, it has the property of inhibiting virus replication in vitro. In vitro means outside of the body, in a lab setting, and in this case some cell culture. Naturally, the other researchers around the world would want to find out whether or not this medicine will work in humans as well. So this doctor, the Egyptian doctor, Dr. Ahmad Al-Ghazar in Ben Ha University, Egypt, he conducted a clinical study, and in his study he found out that there were two main points. Point number one being, if you take ivermectin in the early stage of COVID infection, you would have substantial recovery. And point number two, this medicine ivermectin would reduce the mortality rate, the death rate, by 90%. Once this paper was pre-published, the whole world was jumping up and down as if we have already found a silver bullet that could combat the COVID pandemic, especially those countries in South America like Brazil, Peru, Colombia, and so on. So many COVID patients, they were self-medicating, or the doctors there were prescribing ivermectin to the extent that when they wanted to do a phase 3 clinical trial, which was they wanted to compare those patients, COVID patients who were taking ivermectin versus those who has yet to take ivermectin, they couldn't find any COVID patient that had not yet taken the medicine, ivermectin. It was so rampant. Even with such a widespread of self-medicating or even overprescribing of ivermectin, South America still had a lot of COVID cases, a lot of hospitalization cases, and death rate were shooting up even in 2021. So whether or not this ivermectin was really working, I don't know. As time went on, people started to find a lot of problems with this research. For example, there were 4 deaths reported in the standard treatment non-ivermectin group, but when looked back into the data, it was actually none. And for the ivermectin treatment group, there were 2 deaths reported, but when looked back into the data, it was actually 4. And also there was a patient that died before the start of the study, but yet he was included into the study, and there were a lot of patterns that indicated the data was copied and pasted, and also there was a date charted which was on 31st of June, which all of us know never existed. In the end, people found out that this study was problematic and retracted the study. But it was already middle of 2021, and the Egyptian study has been included in a lot of meta-analysis. Meta-analysis means you take multiple similar study and you show whether or not a treatment option is working towards combating a disease or condition. So if you exclude the Egyptian study from the meta-analysis, ivermectin actually becomes meh. Not sure. Maybe not really that effective in treating COVID. So we are now back to square one, where again all these studies has to be done all over again with proper methods, just like what the Ministry of Health of Malaysia is doing now, to show whether or not ivermectin is actually an option to treat COVID infection. So now, scientifically, we don't know ivermectin whether or not it is effective against COVID. We don't know what is the effective dosage for ivermectin to be effective. Without any concrete scientific data and evidence, I would advise against anyone from self-medicating themselves with ivermectin to combat COVID, or even worse, to prevent COVID. Because if you are not careful, it can have some side effect. It can cause you nausea, vomiting, central nervous system depression, or if you are not careful with the dosage, it can put you into coma. In conclusion, I would say take any information from the internet with a pinch of salt. Try not to believe it 100%. And before FDA, WHO or Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia come up with any recommendation, try not to self-medicate yourself with this unproven medicine, because it may do you more harm than good. That's all I want to share with you today. If you like this video, please hit the like button and share it with your friends and family regarding ivermectin. And I am Gigi Han, and I will see you in the next video. Gigi Han out.